so we're gonna do a same sort of system. We're gonna get a little bit of a warm up in, and then we'll go through 2 different circuits, targeting some different sort of aspects here. We're gonna try and pick up the pace a little bit more in our first circuit. So just trying to get moving a little bit more, maybe get the heart rate up a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Sorry, just getting my Fitbit going. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our hamstring sweeps. So we're gonna bring one foot out, toes pointed up, sticking the hands out behind the hips and sweeping down and up. Getting some nice deep strokes here, keeping that knee straightened out of that front foot, working into the back of the leg, keeping our chest nice and tall as we swing down. Switching legs. Working through that tightness in the hamstring and into the whole back side of the leg there. A few more. And done. Good. Next up, we're going to do some quad pulls. Okay, so we're just going to bend down, fold the knee up, and straighten out. Bend over, fold the knee, and straighten up. Just going back and forth, trying to keep that stability a little bit, giving a little tug through the knee. And last one, finished. Okay, next one we're going to do is shoulder retraction. So working with the mobility here of the shoulder. We're going to bring our hands out in front, like you're pointing down the barrel of a 6-shooter. And you're going to pull the shoulders down and away from the ears, retracting back and pressing forward. Moving back and forth, trying to keep those fingers on the same line. You're not dropping them down or bringing them up. As you move the shoulders back and forth. Very good. And done. Good. Next up, we're just going to do some big arm circles. But here we're going to come up with the thumbs up, flip the hands over as we reach back, and end up again with our hands facing the inside of the hip. Okay. So coming up with the thumb up. As we come up, rotating the hand out and pointing the thumb down behind us and coming back here. So getting a nice little flip over, really opening up the chest and the shoulders there. Going one arm at a time. Let's go last one on this side and rotating the other direction, still flipping that hand over, opening up as we come up and flipping around. And other side, bringing that thumb up in front, flipping over, turning the hand out, and coming back. Nice big articulation and circumduction all throughout the shoulder. Keeping those shoulder blades pinned down to the back and away from the ear. And switching direction. Two more. Done. Good. All right, we're gonna get into our first circuit here. We're gonna go through hot feet, which is real quick. Tapping the feet. We're gonna have hip twists, which is here. Switching sides, and then we're gonna go into our marches. Then we've got push-ups and a plank. All right. So starting at the top with our hot feet, we're gonna go 30 seconds here. Ready, go. Nice and quick. Getting our feet moving. Nice and hot. Back and forth. Trying to keep everything in a nice line. Not shifting our hips too much. A few more seconds. And done. Good. Next up, we've got our hip twists. So starting with our hips facing forward, toes straight. We're gonna hop up to the side. Spinning our hips around. Keeping our feet hot, fast paced. Few more seconds. And done. Good. Next up, we've got our marches. All right. So driving the knees up to the chest. 30 seconds. We're coming up. Getting our marches, driving the knees straight up, keeping those feet bouncing off the ground. Driving the knees up. Few more seconds. Ready, and rest. Good. Now we're heading down to the mat. We've got our push-ups. So getting down into our push-up position, you can either stay on your knees here or bring the knees back and up. We're gonna go into a 2-2 count, which just means 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, or finding an even pace for both sides. We're not doing the eccentrics today, but working on the full push-up. Okay, you ready, and go. Keeping those shoulders pinned away from the ears and tucking the elbows down by the ribs, pointed back towards your hips. Really important here. You don't want those elbows flaring out to the side. You want to stay tucked into the ribs. A few more seconds. And done. Nice job. All right. Next up, we're going to get into our plank here. So forearms down on the ground. Getting our feet back. Knees come up and we're pressing the ground away. Nice tight core. Keeping those hips level with the shoulders. Sucking the belly button up to the spine. Pulling the shoulder blades down towards the hips. Keeping the shoulders away from the earlobe. Eyes forward if you want. Or straight down to the ground, making sure that neck is nice and straight. And rest. Nice job. All right, we're going back up to our feet. for those hot steps, hot feet. So, ready and go. Nice hot feet, going back and forth. Getting that heart rate up, working the calves, the knees just a little bit. A few more seconds, keep it up. And into those hip twists. Ready and go. Moving back and forth, side to side, spinning those feet around, working the twisting of our hips here. Let's go, keep it up. Few more seconds. And rest. All right, next up, we've got our marches, okay? So standing feet hip width apart. We're driving the knees straight up. Getting those knees up high, feet up off the ground. Trying to stay in the same place if we can. Really aware of how our body is moving and controlling those feet. Let's go, a few more seconds. And done. Good. Heading down to the mat for our push-ups. Getting down here. Hands directly below the shoulders. Keeping those elbows tucked towards the ribs. We're going to lower ourselves down at a 2-2 count. Nice even pace. Really controlling the lowering and the press back up. Keeping that core tight, belly button to spine. Your body just moving like a lever, back and forth, using your knees or your feet as its hinge. Everything else staying nice and locked in. A few more. And done. Good. All right, got one more plank here. Finish out our first set. So, elbows below the shoulders, feet and knees come back, getting our hips off the ground, leveling out with the shoulder, and holding. Keeping that belly button sucked up to the spine, driving the ground away through the elbows and the shoulder. Keeping everything nice and taut through the trunk. Keeping those hips level. Gotta correct myself. A few more seconds. And done. Nice job, everybody. Next up, we're going to go into some bent over Ys. We're going to go through our second circuit, starting with the bent over Ys. Then we've got reverse lunges. We're going to do our rotating planks down on the ground, rotating up, working on shoulder stability. Then we've got lateral squats and a squat hold. So a little bit of a more lower body day today, but that's okay. Never skip leg day. All right, so we're gonna get into our bent over Ys, getting our hips back, knees slightly bent, hands out in front, thumbs pointed forward. We're gonna raise the hands up as we keep the shoulders pulled back and down. We want to be coming out at about a 45-degree angle from our shoulder, getting into that big Y shape. And I've got my back flat, hips driven back. Just squeezing those shoulder blades together as the hands come up. Let's get a few more here. And rest. Good. Next up, we've got our reverse lunges. So I'm going to stand at the top one end of my mat, getting a slight knee bend, hips back already, and I'm just stepping back, giving a little bit of a twist across my knee as I come down. Ooh. Really just thinking about stability and control with that rotation. Trying to keep the weight over the midpoint of the foot, not forward onto the toes or too far back onto the heel. Starting to think about how we can load the back side of the leg as we come down, and then using the front side of the thigh to bring ourselves back up. That's some expert level body awareness there. A few more. And done. Good. Next up, we have our rotating planks. So getting down to the ground, we're going to do 4 on each side. Getting our hands down, feet back, knees up into that plank. Now I get my feet pretty wide here because we're going to be unstable through the front. So we want as much stability as we can. So we get our feet a little bit wider. And then shifting onto one hand, rotating up, pointing the hand to the ceiling. And coming back down. 4 on each side. Give a little bit of a pause at the top. Feel the connection. And come back down. And good. All right. Last but not least, we're doing our 30-second. Oh, no. Sorry, we got our lateral squats. Okay, so starting with our feet hip width apart, we're stepping out to one side, squatting down, coming back to middle, and stepping out to the other side. Getting a nice foot tap back to the center. Getting upright and stepping back out. Let's get a few more. And done. All right, back to the top. We're going to those bent over Ys. So standing up nice and tall, driving the hips back, lowering the chest just a little bit, getting a nice little knee bend. Hands on the knees, thumbs up, and we're swinging up into that Y position. Really pulling the shoulder blades together here. Keeping that back straight, core tight. You want to add a little bit of a challenge. You can lower the depth of your squat. Get a little bit into those legs there. Oh, we forgot the squat hold. It's all right. We're running short on time anyways. A few more here. And we pretty much got it covered with these Ys as well. and done. Great job. All right, next up, we've got our reverse lunges. So adding a little bit of that rotation as we step back, starting with our feet hip width apart, stepping back, bringing that hand over the knee, rotating down, weight staying over the midpoint of the foot. Don't want to put too much stress on our knees as we step back. Let's go, keep it up. Got a few more minutes here. Very nice, keep it up. And done. Very good. Next, we got our rotating planks. So getting down onto our hands, feet and knees come back, getting our feet wide and rotating up. Got 4 each side. And done. Good. Next, we got those lateral squats before heading into a little bit of a stretch here. So starting in the middle of our mats or wherever you're at, we're going to step out to the side, coming back to middle, and stepping out, alternating which side we're going to each time. Nice, even pace. Got about 20 more seconds here. Keep it up. Almost there. And done. Nice job, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and stretch things out here. So first thing, we're gonna get a little bit wider than hip width with our feet, pointing the toes about 45 degrees out. We're gonna lower the hips down into a squat, getting as low as we can. If you're having trouble sitting into the squat, remember you can always bring your hands down to the ground. Use them as an assistance to help spread the knees out and really get into those hips. But gently, just try and work your way back so you keep those heels down. Really getting into a nice deep squat. Good. All right, we're going to sit down onto our butts. Extend the legs out front, keeping the knees straight, going into our seated forward fold, reaching out towards the feet. If you're having trouble getting your feet down and staying into the stretch, you can go ahead and tuck your hands underneath the shin, behind the calf, and pull the knees down towards the mat and lower yourself down. Extending out further and further as you relax into the stretch. All right, coming back out. Last one I got for you guys is just going to be a folded knee to chest hug. So I'm bringing one leg up, crossing over the knee, and hugging my bent knee into the chest, stretching into the outside of my hip here. Now a little bit of rotation. So looking over the shoulder of the same side of the knee that's bent up towards the chest. And extending the leg back out, bringing the other knee up and over, pulling into the chest, and twisting, looking over the same shoulder as the leg that's bent up towards the chest. And extending back out. All right, guys, thank you so much for hopping in today. That's all I got for you. As always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques, feel free to shoot me a message in the chat or on Slack, or just come in and say hi if you want. But thanks for stopping by. Hope we all have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you, Quinn.
No problem.